IDDataweb.net. Today I'll be speaking with Spencer Crane, who's the Principal Solutions Architect from IDDataweb, a silver sponsor at this year's Identity Week America Conference 2024 in DC. We really look forward to welcoming them to the conference. IDDataweb provides cross-channel digital trust to prevent account takeover and account opening fraud, running a network of best-in-breed identity data providers. So we're going to hear a bit more about that now from Spence himself. Hi, Spencer. Would you like to just expand on what you do and the geographies you cover?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having us, Heavy. So IDDataweb is a leading identity security platform. So what that really means is we aggregate and orchestrate 40 plus different best in class kind of data sources, solutions, et cetera, across the marketplace into a single set of endpoints and services, primarily with the goal of verifying and authenticating users in real time. We have use cases today across about 140 plus countries, and support across actually more than 190 plus countries.
And you're going to be in DC this year, as I mentioned. What are your key partners in the identity ecosystem, focusing on attribute providers and major IAM providers?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. So, we rely on, the marketplace of extremely, powerful solutions that all do sort of one specific niche extremely well, whether that's, document to biometric verification, telecom data, credit bureau data, risk analysis, whatever it may be. Those are some of the most important partners, as that is the backbone of our capability to aggregate, orchestrate kind of all those specific capabilities into one place. Just as important are our relationships with IAM platforms. So we have built plugins and partnerships with most of the major IAM platforms. We have out-of-the-box integrations with the vast majority of them. I'm sure everyone knows the names that I'm thinking of, but just to kind of run through a few, Ping, Okta, Forgerock, Azure, Sexetta, SailPoint, any of the major platforms, we have out-of-the-box integrations with.
So one of your main products is the IDDataweb's attribute exchange network. Kind of what is it that you do? How does it work to make the distinction between the real user and the fraudster?
Sure. Yeah. So we think about the attribute exchange network is really that core technology that allows us to aggregate these solutions better than anybody else. The kind of the key three things that we think about is agility, ubiquity, and resilience. So what does that mean? Fraudsters are always changing their tactics. The marketplace is changing. User preference is changing. Regulations are changing at all times. And so the ability to seamlessly move between and add or subtract individual data sources and solutions is something that's tremendously hard to do if you're integrating with these solutions directly, and extremely simple to do when you're integrated with an orchestration platform like ours. What that also allows you to do is verify more people in more ways. This is particularly important because the vast majority of your users are not bad guys, right? So if you have multiple methods and multiple paths across multiple data sources, so on and so forth, that you can use to verify users, that's what allows you to really get those high 90% plus, 95% plus pass rates without sacrificing security. And the last big point, the resiliency point, is those things both allow you to also fail over to overlapping data sources and supplementing solutions. So if one of the major credit bureaus goes down or a major telecom provider goes down, a lot of customers who are integrated directly are going to be in for a world of hurt. Versus in our world, because all of these data sources are mapped like for like, we have the ability to seamlessly fail over across multiple data sources and solutions. So I'd say that's really the key value proposition of the attribute exchange network.
And I imagine lots of sectors, clients that you're working with are benefiting from this. So are you working with government, enterprise? Who are your partners?
Yeah, the majority of our customers today are Fortune 50 healthcare organizations, insurance organizations, financial services organizations, as well as a number of state and government bodies. We also have increasingly seen interest in the gaming and entertainment space and the consumer and e-commerce space, as we kind of shift from identity verification being a regulatory checkbox for some organizations to something that other organizations just simply want to deliver for their users and for their organization security.
And you mentioned, most users will be genuine, but there will be fraudsters trying to gain access. How are you keeping up with the shifting fraud tactics and these scenarios? What are the most common scenarios of fraud that you're tackling?
Yeah, absolutely. We are absolutely seeing, fraud regularly trend. The latest hot button item, of course, is the use of things like generative AI to spoof everything from voices to even, authorization documents regarding ownership of phone numbers, et cetera. But we're also seeing, the rise of fraud as a service, to actually cater to these fraudsters and these fraud rings by actually providing them services and platforms to actually perpetuate this fraud at scale and at velocity. The way we solve that is simply consistently talking to our customers and our marketplace, as well as regulators and law enforcement. So what we see is typically, what is happening in one industry will soon move on to another industry. And so that's a real advantage as well, because of the fact that our policy engine and our overall system is so flexible. We regularly are adapting how we verify users, how we authenticate users based on what we're seeing with other customers, and making those types of best practices available to other customers on our end. Just as well, we're regularly in communication with our attribute providers, right, to understand what they're doing to combat things like, deep fake voices, deep fake biometrics, all the emerging trends that we're seeing right now in the marketplace, and seeing fraudsters get away with.
That's great. I think what you're offering is very unique in this space. Obviously running a network of different data providers. We really look forward to welcoming you to the conference. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks so much. Looking forward to it.